The Detroit Lions like their Iowa Hawkeyes. We'll talk about Sam LaPorta and his future up in Detroit in just a second. First, I want to thank Iowa Floor Covering and their crew. They are, of course, sponsoring this segment here on the channel, and, of course, they're sponsoring a lot of coverage here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. They've been a big part of our basketball coverage as well. Be sure to support Iowa Floor Covering. They've got this great deal on their Tough Core Click Together 4.5 millimeter waterproof vinyl flooring. It's available right now with self-installation at just $269 per foot. Visit iowafloorcovering.com/DIY. And when you work with Iowa Floor Covering, be sure to let them know that we hear it from the Hawkeye of the Storm sent you over there. And of course, as you support our sponsors, you are supporting the work being done here on YouTube. All right, let's get to our news for the draft. The NFL draft, of course, continuing, and Sam LaPorta getting drafted by the Detroit Lions, number 34 overall, second-round pick, just a couple picks away from being a first-round pick. How about that? The Hawkeyes nearly had 3 players drafted in the first round. And this draft, we're going to get to Riley Moss on another video, probably will be released tomorrow. But these selections, specifically LaPorta and Campbell, those two selections kind of validated how I felt about those two guys for a long time. As I looked at mock drafts, and I'm not a big draft guy. Like, if you get to know me, I'm not a guy who's perusing all these different mock drafts. But I think the consensus was that LaPorta was at least the third or fourth or even fifth best tight end in this class. Jack Campbell was not projected to be a first-round draft pick by many mock draft people, if you will. And I just didn't get it. I'm certainly no scout, and I'm no Mel Kiper. I'm no Todd McShay. But, man, we've talked about Jack Campbell, and if you missed the video that I published on his selection by the Lions, check that out. But his physical intangibles, his work ethic, he was going to get a raving review from Kirk Ferentz and company. And Sam LaPorta is the same way. He's got good size at 6'4". He's shown the ability to break tackles, very similar to what a George Kittle does in the NFL. Certainly not comparing those two apples to apples. One guy's had an opportunity to mature at the NFL level. But as far as physical talent, Sam LaPorta is, I think, right there with George Kittle. And Sam LaPorta, as far as college production, blows George Kittle's college production out of the park. I know this is, again, different quarterbacks, different systems to an extent, pretty much the same system, but different coaches, different players around them. I get that. And George Kittle dealt with injuries at Iowa, but there are some parallels with how those two guys play. Both guys are excellent after the catch. They both have excellent hands. That's a big part of this. I know there's been some talk about Sam LaPorta needing to get better in run blocking. I think he'll be just fine. I look at a guy like Noah Fant, who has dealt with some injuries once he's gotten to the league. He's also dealt with issues finding a quarterback that can throw him the ball consistently, and I think good play calling. But ultimately, TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant have been success stories in the NFL. TJ specifically, now he's become one of the best tight ends in the league, and I'm not surprised by that at all. But I am also not surprised that Sam LaPorta got taken early in the second round. I just didn't understand how people thought he was a third or fourth round pick. But let's remember that Kittle was a, third, fourth, fifth round pick, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly where he got selected, but he was not a high draft pick. Again, college production, Sam LaPorta is arguably the most productive tight end in Iowa Hawkeye history. That's not exaggerating things at all. He's got the tools, and I see him being really good at Detroit. And the fact that Detroit drafted Sam LaPorta just a few years after drafting TJ Hawkinson, of course, TJ's now with the Vikings, that proves to me that they liked TJ, and obviously they like their Hawkeyes. They drafted Jack Campbell. So Campbell and LaPorta, two of the highest character guys in this draft class. I know I'm biased in saying that. Two of the highest character guys in this draft class are reunited in Detroit. Congratulations to Sam LaPorta. And despite the weird year that Iowa had offensively, you have an offensive player taken almost in the first round, early in that second round. And despite just the 7-5 record for the regular season, they've got 3 players taken in the top 34 of the draft. Riley Moss was taken in the third round. We'll talk about Riley's selection again coming up here later this weekend. But just wanted to check in, give my 2 cents for those of you that are Lions fans watching this show. You are getting a high character, high motor, hardworking kid with great physical attributes. And I understand he was taken higher than some people anticipated him to be. But if you value the tight end position and you value a guy who can catch at the tight end position, you're going to get a great one. You've got a great one in Sam LaPorta. And again, his ability to make plays after the catch will be something that Jared Goff and company will utilize. And he was taken ahead of the kid from Notre Dame, who I know was projected, at least the mock drafts that I saw, he was projected to be the first overall tight end taken. Was it Michael Mayer? Is that his name? The tight end from Notre Dame. So congratulations to Sam LaPorta and company. And we'll talk to you more later this weekend about Riley Moss as the NFL draft continues on this 29th day of April. I'm Corey Brada from the Hawkeye of the Storm.